Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kitty here, and today we're going to be talking about things that people worry about and have no control over, and social justice warriors and all that fun shit. Because it's just brought me to a point of no return, and I'm just sick and tired of seeing it everywhere. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about those people that you see in the comment section of whatever you're on, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, that disagree with or have to go in depth with something. You know, I can't even think of an example right now. I've just been very angry today, and I just feel like relieving some stress here with something like this, I guess you could say. Because I see it all the time online, and it just gets out of hand, and it's just really ridiculous. Like all these people with the gun control and all that shit now, and all that stuff that people are like, oh, this is better, or that is better. And, you know, some of the stuff I can understand, but others, it just makes no sense, and you just make yourself look fucking stupid. Like, sometimes I see these religious ones, which always get me. If you're religious, just click off this video or mute the audio right now, because personally, I'm not a religious person. I was Christian when I was younger, forced, might I add. I never liked the religion ever since I was capable of understanding what was going on, which was probably the age of like 7 or 8, I'm gonna guess. But you know, you see all these people like, you know, let's say there's a mass shooting. So you'll have the people, the liberals and all that stuff, you know, the people that are like, oh, we need more gun control, and then you have the people that are like, oh, we don't need more gun control or else people are gonna die more, and you know, there's those two battling. And then you have the people that are like, God wouldn't want it this way, blah 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 blah, and they bring in the religion, and it just, personally, since religion to me, I feel like if I say it, people are gonna disagree anyway, but it's not beliefs. It's facts, alright, people? I mean, you may seem like you're smarter or whatever, but in reality, you're just a sheep and you follow everyone else. Religion is just a bullshit made-up thing by humans decades upon decades ago. That's just something for people to believe in when everything's down shit's creek, like 9/11. Let's take 9/11 for an example. So, let's say 9/11 happened, and, you know, I'm sure this might have actually happened, who knows, but let's say 9/11 just happened, and everyone was freaking out and stuff. Let's say this smart businessman decided, hey, you know what would be a good idea? You know how people always, in religions, when something goes wrong, they go to God, or their God, to pray to them, to hopefully have it become better. So, they do this, and you know, the church obviously makes a profit off of donations, quote unquote. So he thinks to himself, hey, you know, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe I'll make my own religion, which plenty of people done before. Fine and dandy. So 9/11 happens, there's this big scare, and this guy makes a religion that, I don't know, makes rules that everyone goes to heaven and everyone's great, blah blah blah. Grabs the attention of those people, and they're like, oh wow, did this Lord will save me? Oh, thank God. And especially when people are really desperate, they'll do this. Let's say the end of the world happens sometime, I guarantee people are going to do this. But, so they go and they're like, oh boy, we're going to be saved type thing. And meanwhile, this guy can literally make money off of these poor people that are, I wouldn't even say poor people, just stupid fucking people that are just like feeding him money for donations for his church, quote unquote, and religion, quote unquote, that are like, oh, this God's gonna save me, here, take some money to keep your church going and save the Lord, hallelujah type shit. Meanwhile, little do they know, this guy just bullshitted up some made up shit, and it's just acting like this thing's real. This God is real when it's not. It's just off the top of his head, or he's been thinking about some bullshit like this. And yet these people believe it. And that really ties into society now, on how a lot of people are like sheep, you know? A lot of people do go with other people's ideas, and I feel like that's the issue with society now. Everyone sides with this side or that side. They can't get in between. Just like gun control. Let me bring that back up. Use these people for gun control and not for gun control. let me state it to you, people, loud and clear. Open your fucking ears this time, right? Doing anything such as banning guns, that is going to be an example right now. Gun control. You cannot ban guns. You want to know why? Because let's say we're pro-guns, okay? We give more people guns to protect themselves. Now, as we all know that these people are mentally ill in our society, they're going to have more accessibility to weapons, firearms, and all that, and may cause more mass shootings. Alright? Okay, we get that part. Now, let's say we ban guns completely or greatly decrease them. That is also going to limit our defense. So that is going to almost break down our defensive wall and leave us wide open. So there is more room for terrorist attacks, mass shootings, and all that, and we are defenseless. So, let's reiterate. So these two, one, you can have more guns, but the people with guns in the US might go crazy and shoot some people. Now, if you ban guns completely, either out-of-country terrorist or in-country terrorist can kill more people without those people defending themselves. So you see where we're at. We're kind of, stuck. You can't have one or the other now, can you? Or else someone gets fucked over. So these are a lot of situations that people argue over for decades, and just really blows my mind because there's no reason to even bother anymore, because you can't get in the middle. It's just kind of a war you can't win. Another thing you can't win, that's a war. The drug war, you can't win with that. You can legalize it, and, you can technically win that. I would. This is the way I would do it, is legalize all the drugs. Alright, I know, crazy idea. Sounds bad. Probably somewhat is, and would greatly probably kill off a decent amount of people in the US alone, and plus anywhere else. But you got to think of it this way, there's natural selection, or the government's killing us off anyway by holding out on drugs and all that stuff. But let's just say we legalize all drugs. Now, what our government gets to do is use all these drugs and sell them medicinally at pharmacies and such. Now, what does that usually apprehend when you sell drugs at pharmacies? That's right, a lot of tax money. And where does all that fun tax money go? No, not in your pocket. It actually gets reduced and taken out of your pocket and given to that rich asshole called the government. Now, what they do with that money, who knows? We would like them to fund a new road or something, good for the world. Will they do it? We don't know. We all know how bad the government is, especially in the US, so we'll see. But, that's just my take on it, and I feel like, especially in the US now, America, just people have just been getting dumber and dumber and dumber. Like, I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, isn't it ridiculous how nowadays, before, cartoons or shows or whatever, they have to put up a warning or a disclaimer not to do this at home or not to do this or that. Meanwhile, back in the day, people had somewhat common sense on, oh, maybe it isn't a good idea to stick a firecracker up my ass. Meanwhile, now people are like, hey, that's a good idea, no disclaimer. Oh, I'll just do it. And it really gets me. People have just grown so much stupider, more stupid over the years, and I just really don't get it. What are they putting in the food or water? I mean, that's already fucked as well. The problem is, case in point here, our world, the US, a lot of other countries too, it's honestly beyond fucked up. And really has been since the big business or the big people have, been in charge. And really, the human race, just humans in general, are just scum-sucking piles of shit. And I feel like the problem is with all these problems is either people realize them, such as myself, either a lot or a little, and then there's usually a mass majority that just turn a blind eye. And really, that's nothing that we should do. So let's say, like, our food industry. If you don't know who Monsanto is, I would suggest looking him up. You can watch Food Inc. I'm sure he's mentioned in that movie multiple times. But there's a man named Monsanto who is doing a GMO thing, which is just kind of chemically based things. I don't even know what they are. It's just chemically based additives to growing food. Pretty much genetically engineering food. Let's put it in the easy perspective. So he genetically engineers food to be supposedly quote-unquote better and make more masses and make more money. You know, the big business way. And as we all know, and if you don't know, in the big business way, cheaper is better. Who the fuck gives a shit about quality? Because you're making all the money in the world, so who gives a shit? Let's not worry about the problem until, you know, it's right at the end where something might blow up in our face, you know, then we'll worry about it. So these GMO things are obviously not healthy for us or animals, and either people realize it or people just don't care. You know, this obesity problem, you know, has been happening, whatever. There are, you know, a few fat people out there that, you know, it is genetic, but most of the time it's not. And I also feel like these genetically modified foods definitely have something to do with it. And, you know, people really don't realize it, or they do and just turn a blind eye, like I said. And it's really sad because, like I said, this world, in like conclusion here, this world is just so fucked up, and it's beyond fucked up, and there's really no way to fix it. But, you know, we might as well try. We're all gonna die someday, so we might as well go out making a difference. It's sad to think this way, and, you know, I get a lot of people that saying you're just negative, oh, you don't believe in this and that, you're just a Debbie Downer. Call me whatever, man, but, you know, I see through your very thin skin and very tiny mind that you just follow the social media or whatever and just think these blind ways. People really need to look at the big picture here. If you look at some research online, in the paper, wherever, I'm not saying online is the worst place to go. You can go plenty of other places, especially people, if you ask them, that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Online's good, just make sure it's a reliable source. Because people really do need to do a lot more research and learn about a lot of these new different things that are happening in our world that can cause us harm. And a lot of people don't realize this. That's the thing with the food, you know. Just walking around my town, I've noticed, oh my god, so many people have been getting so obese, fat, and just disgusting. And what it is it's the food, you know. It's also people being lazy and everything, but, you know, you also gotta slightly blame the food industry, because they're the one that's fucking this up. And, you know, it's not just the food industry. It's all these other industries, you know, the big government that's involved. And, you know, we've seen this throughout history. Some people might believe it, some people are not. I just kind of went on an angry rant here. It's hard to talk about it, because there's just so many fucked up subjects out there just about the whole world. With all these little things, like the government, the food, and everything. It's so hard to talk about them all in one, because there's so many problems in the world right now. Will be in the future, and have been in the past. So, sorry about ranting for these like 14-15 minutes, but I hope you guys got something out of this. You know, do some research. If you knew this stuff, I'm very glad that you did. If you want, you can even leave a like on this video to show that you're a supporter of this type of way of thinking, because I feel like there's not many people that think this way anymore, and there really should. Like I said, society has been really dumbed down, and it's a sad thing. We can't think for ourselves anymore. So I hope you guys somewhat enjoyed this rant type video. Hopefully you got something out of it, like I said. If not, well, I'm sorry. Do some research, like I said. Take some time out of your day. Look up this stuff. It's usually sad, so just be prepared for that, but you might learn something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very long and obnoxious and ranty video, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Adios. Oh, and P.S. guys, before I go, if you end up on a page like that and you want to make a comment, do yourself
and everyone else a favor, and don't even bother. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of everyone else's time, and just don't bother. It's really not worth it.